Hi everybody, my name's King Noosme. In my new place. It is very much not finished, but I wanted to get a video out for you guys and I can just finish this later, you know. There is no show more fun to watch around Halloween than Scooby-Doo. It's just the perfect show for the holiday. The kids themselves get into several spooky situations, some that kind of traumatized me as a kid. And they have to face scary beings while trying to solve a mystery at the same time. I actually know a lot of people who watch the Scooby-Doo Zombie Island movie every year on Halloween because that's probably the scariest piece of Scooby-Doo media we have. Hell, there's even a live stream going on right now on the WB Kids YouTube channel called Scoobtober, where they're playing the best Scooby-Doo episodes for the holiday. Even they know the gang is the vibe for this time of year. Almost every series of our mystery-solving gang has an episode or movie based around Halloween. The most recent one being Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo that came out in 2022. Hell, there was even one that came out in just 2020, 5 years ago. And in that movie, Scooby-Doo teams up with Elvira to fight off the Scarecrow, the famous Batman villain, with the help of Bill Nye the Science Guy. What is even Scooby-Doo anymore? Also, why did I not talk about that? That sounds a lot cooler than this one. I'll tell you why. As we all know, each generation had their own Scooby-Doo show growing up, and my show was What's New Scooby-Doo. So obviously, when I was thinking of Halloween episodes, I immediately thought of A Scooby-Doo Halloween, the 6th episode of the 2nd season. It originally aired on the WB on October 25th in 2003, but years later, it would air on Cartoon Network on October 12th in 2008. God, like 5 years later. And although it's not the best or even scariest Halloween episodes in Scooby-Doo, it's very nostalgic to me and it's somewhat of a fan favorite because the episode does a lot of fan service. And not in the anime way either. There are a lot of references to previous Hanna-Barbera shows and previous Scooby-Doo adventures. Also kisses in this episode, for some reason. And it was so popular in its time that it was also the first issue for the Scholastic comic books of the show. And that comic was called Scooby-Doo, A Haunted Halloween. I see where Goosebumps got the idea for their second movie title. It's also What's New Scooby-Doo, so it has the best theme song. But it's not in this episode, actually. Hey, they just needed more time to show off the spooky pumpkin-headed scarecrows. And I need to start talking about them as well, so let's quit yapping and get into the episode. We start this episode with a special Halloween title card, and we pan over to find Shaggy and Scoob are already in some trouble. Dang man, it's barely been like 10 seconds. You guys already need saving? They're being chased by some Spanish moss monster throughout the swamp. Luckily, they have some boats for a quick getaway, and also their friends are there to help them escape his wrath. And they unmask the guy and reveal that the man pulled off a bank heist and then hid all of the money in the swamp until the coast was clear and he could take it back. Which is very similar to another episode in the OG Scooby-Doo Where Are You show. That exact thing happened in the episode Which Witch is Which? Except that episode had a witch in it. And that witch had an accomplice that would later show up in the second Scooby-Doo movie. Anyways, while Fred, Daphne, and Velma do their usual spill about the criminal they just captured, Shaggy and Scoob look very anxious, like they have somewhere they need to be. And once they get the chance, Scoob and Shaggy yank the other three into the mystery machine and speed their way all the way to the destination, with Shaggy grinding the gears all the way there.
Speaking of driving, Shaggy, it looks like you're kind of riding the clutch a bit hard there.
We learn that the gang are headed off to visit Velma's aunt and uncle in a town called Banning Junction. It's supposedly the best place to spend Halloween, and Shaggy wants to beat the crowds there because apparently it gets really busy. So pretty much Banning Junction is like a fictional Salem, Massachusetts. I think that's fair. Not only is it the best place to hang out for the holiday, but the band Kiss is performing for the festival this year. And after Shaggy almost destroys the mystery machine with his bad driving,
You're killing my mystery machine!
Fred gets them there safely, where they notice an unusual amount of creepy scarecrows out in the fields. Daphne and Velma find this pretty odd, but Shaggy thinks it's just for Halloween, so there's nothing to worry about. So they just take his word for it and make it to Velma's family's house where they get a warm welcome from—
Freeze, you trespassing cowards!
Uh-oh. Oh god, the whole town is gonna kill them! Luckily, Velma's aunt and uncle calm everyone down before they gut the gang like fish, and they apologize for their harsh welcome, and they say that somebody has been sneaking on people's property and cutting and burning down all the cornfields every night. So the town is a little on edge, and I can see why. It's obviously not the gang's fault this is happening because they literally just got there, but who knows, the culprit might be closer than they think. Later, we learn that the gang are actually there for the 100th Halloween anniversary of Banning Junction. Junction. And legend has it that the founder of the town, Hank Banning, is coming back this Halloween. He ran the town as mayor for over 30 years until he slowly went crazy. He became super paranoid and claimed to see things all the time. He was obviously unfit to hold any form of office, so the townspeople voted him out, and he would later die on Halloween night. But before he died, he put a curse on the town. He claimed he would come back 100 years later to seek revenge on the town that robbed him of his position. Kinda sounds like a good idea to vote him out. So naturally, this year the town festival is going to be super busy because people want to see the ghost come back. Also, Kiss is performing. I'd go for Kiss. That sounds awesome. That's what Shaggy's most excited for. Good lord, what's up with that skeleton behind him? That's scarier than any villain the show has had. Jesus, man, I was looking at the scary skeleton. Don't do that! While they were telling the story of Hank Banning, we met Velma's cousin, Marcy, who seems to like everyone in the gang, except for Daphne. She's overly rude to her the whole time, and it really pisses me off. Like right here, Daphne was asking if anyone else saw the creepy scarecrow in the window, and she says,
"It was probably your own reflection."
Bitch, what? I would fight you, but I think Daphne can handle you on her own. Not only is Marcy super annoying, but she's also pretty popular. So she won the crown to be the corn princess at this year's festival Masquerade ball. And later that night, we watch as someone chops down and burns more of the crop, and also ruin this couple's makeout session. God, don't you hate it when that happens? The next day, the gang learns about the vandalism, and of course they investigate it themselves. They discover that whoever did this didn't leave any tracks behind, or at least they're really good at hiding their tracks. And as Shaggy and Scoob are checking out this creepy scarecrow, this cat that was being all creepy the night before steals Scooby's caramel apple and lures both him and Shaggy to the top of the water tower, where it is revealed that the culprit made a jack-o'-lantern crop circle. And that's not the only one either. There are multiple different Halloween symbols carved out of the corn. But what could make all these weird patterns and never touch the ground?
Hank Banning made those patterns.
Who are you? Uncle Evan leaks that this lady's name is Agnes, and she says that in the legend, Hank Banning would leave hints in the corn before his return. But of course, Uncle Evan and the mayor that's standing right beside him think that it's just a tall tale to scare kids. But Agnes insinuates that the mayor could be using the legend to lure in tourists and make money for his own personal gain. Duh. What? He's absolutely doing that. Let's not act like he's not. Agnes warns everyone to lock themselves in a safe space until the terror of Hank Banning is over. Well, it won't work. Mostly, it freaks these two cowards out a little bit. No one trusts this kooky old lady because she's obviously trying to scare them all for some reason. The gang talk out all the evidence and try and figure out some suspects, but no one really jumps out at them.
Marcy.
Well, obviously Daphne doesn't like Marcy because she's rude. She's also trying to steal her man constantly, but she might be onto something. But what evidence does she have to prove it's Marcy?
Oh, I don't know. Call it women's intuition.
So no evidence. Just a hunch. Okay, hey, that works with me. The group agree to split up and gather more clues. Fred and the girls will go to the library to learn more about Banning Junction's history, while Scoob and Shaggy go to creepy old Agnes's house and learn more about the ghost of Hank Banning. After a little bit of pushback, Scoob and Shaggy surprisingly actually go to Agnes's house and invite themselves in to look for clues. While investigating her house, Shaggy finds a case full of farming tools, the exact tools someone would need to create images in cornfields. Too bad she catches them snooping around her house, and she's not very happy about it. Luckily, she's old and frail, so these guys get to escape unscathed. Cut to the others in the library, and they discovered a new food processing plant that is in town. The owner of that plant has been buying up all the land in town, and coincidentally, the only fields being vandalized are the ones that are privately owned. And double coincidentally, the food processing plant is owned by local rich guy Eldon Reed, who is good friends with the mayor. And triple coincidentally, they run into Marcy at the library. She's there studying for her electrical engineering class, but she has to leave pretty soon to get ready for the ball tonight because she is being crowned corn princess. And quadruple coincidentally, it's Marcy's birthday, and even though she would rather have a celebration for herself, she doesn't mind going and spending it at a masquerade ball. Hey, how old are you turning, Marcy?
I'm 18, able to legally vote.
Why'd you put a pause in there? You don't know how old my man Fred is. If he's the same Fred from the OG show, he's like 34 or something. Of course, Daphne still thinks Marcy is a suspect, so she asks her where she was when she wasn't with them in the morning while they were at the cornfields. And she claims she was working her part-time job at the mall and that she can prove it because the mall has security cameras that have her on tape. Daphne wants to see this proof because she doesn't believe Marcy is as innocent. Oh, yep, there she is at work. Well, it's not Marcy. She's cleared. That night, the group meet up in the cornfield to hopefully capture the suspect. Yeah, it's not exactly where Scooby and Shaggy want to spend their Halloween, but what can you do? Sadly, they don't find anything but spooky scarecrows and a ghost. Oh, it's just Scooby-Doo. Never mind. Whew, I thought they were in real danger there for a second. Did that scarecrow just come to life? Not just one, but every scarecrow comes to life. Each one with a different farm tool for a hand, and some with not exactly farm tools. The gang get trapped up against an old barn, with the scarecrows just inching in to rip them apart. Luckily, Scooby-Doo somehow finds a hose in the middle of this cornfield and sprays them down. Where did he get that from? Normally, the water would only distract the culprit for a little bit so the gang could get away. But this time, it looks like the water is frying them because the scarecrows are actually robots. More scarecrows bust out of the corn and Scooby gets ready with his trusty old hose and oh, it's connected to the barn. Of course it's connected to the barn. But the other robots must have seen their friends laying there dead and got scared because they all just simply turn away and walk back into the corn. Obviously, whoever's controlling the scarecrows has them headed somewhere specific, so the gang has to quickly chase them down. Fred comes up with a plan where Shaggy and Scoob wear the scarecrow costumes from the now broken robots on the floor and follow the other scarecrows, while the other three follow them with a shortwave radio to see where the signal is coming from that's controlling them. It's a great plan of which Shaggy is not a fan of.
Okay, anyone else have a plan?
Then we cut to the Masquerade ball, which just seems like a costume party to me. But this is where all the Easter eggs come into play. Let's start with this guy who's
Hong Kong Phooey.
man, he even sounds like someone who would like Hong Kong Phooey. If you are unaware or never watched Boomerang as a child,
Teenagers, no sense of history.
Hong Kong Phooey was a Hanna-Barbera show that followed a dog named Penry who had an alter ego hero named Hong Kong Phooey. And using his book full of kung fu moves, he saves the day. Actually, most of the time, he never saved the day. Either his sidekick Spot does, or something random happens where the villain is defeated magically. Either way, cool little Easter egg. And just another random fun fact about it, he was actually on a team with Scooby-Doo in the TV show Laugh Olympics. Their team name was Scooby-Doobies. Did these guys not know what a doobie was? You can also find the Wizard of Oz gang back here, Robin Hood, Green Arrow, and I think this guy is dressed as one of the 7 dwarves. And I also think these kids are a reference to It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I mean, there's like a witch and a ghost. There's usually another witch, but that guy is close enough. Come back to the gang and they followed/tracked the signal all the way to the town hall, where the Masquerade ball is happening. They all go inside the town hall where they bump into rich guy Eldon Reed and his buddy dressed up as Holmes and Watson. The gang have found that the scarecrows have made a barrier around the crowd, and they aren't sure why. Hey look, Kiss!
Happy Halloween!
Banning Junction.
Banning Junction!
And that's the last little clip I'll be sharing for a little while because they play their hit song Shout It Out Loud, and I would like to keep my YouTube video up. Also, another random fun fact, Tom Kenny voices Gene Simmons in this episode. Why couldn't they get the real Gene Simmons? I don't know. They got the real Paul Stanley. What the hell, man? While Kiss shreds on stage, a massive explosion happens right above them, and the ghost of Hank Banning has now come to seek revenge on the town. He flies down, attacking anyone he can as the scarecrows block all of the exits, trapping everyone inside. Luckily for these people, the gang know that they're robots, so they take them out each one by one. Well, easier said than done. They do some admittedly dumb things like Scoob and Shaggy spit apples at the scarecrows from the Bobbing for Apples booth. When there's water right there, just splash them with water, man, what the fuck? And the other 3 throw pumpkins at the ghost multiple times, even though he's a ghost. It just goes right through him. Come on, Velma, you're respected by Batman. You're smarter than that. But there is this fun little Easter egg here where Shaggy disguises himself as a werewolf to hide from the scarecrows, and he looks exactly like he did in the movie Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. I always love seeing this Easter egg. It's like the most nostalgic for me. And of course, there's a reference to both Batman and Superman in this episode. Scooby-Doo uses a symbol like the bat symbol to summon himself, and when the camera pans down, he's wearing Superman's suit, but with an S and a D on his chest. God, this episode is just so much fun, man. After they destroy all of the scarecrows, they discover that the ghost of Hank is just a projection, and whoever is behind all of this is controlling everything from this room. So they bust in the room and no one is there. They're all pretty flabbergasted by this. Someone is trying really hard to ruin Halloween, but also not get caught.
Who would go to such lengths just to upstage Halloween?
And that little comment tells Velma exactly who it is. We cut to the whole town at this water tower, for some reason, where Marcy is hiding from everyone.
I knew it.
Hey, I guess we could trust women's intuition after all. You probably should. You probably actually should most of the time. Most of the time, it's like kind of crazy how that works. I don't know how it works or what they know, but they know stuff, men. They know. Marcy confesses that she only did all of this because her birthday has been overshadowed every year because it's also Halloween, and she's just tired of it. Velma figured out who it was because, well, Daphne's comments about Marcy, and also they found a glove on top of the water tower earlier. And when they were watching the footage back, Velma noticed the same type of glove in the background, or foreground of the footage. She also had a hunch because Marcy was learning electrical engineering, so that probably gave her the skills and knowledge to make a bunch of Halloween ruining robot scarecrows. But just before Marcy gets taken to the slammer, she has to get one last little flirty quip in for Fred.
Oh, Blondie, I'll be out in 300 hours.
And the night is still young, so Scooby and Shaggy dressed as each other and go trick-or-treating. And the next day the gang leave Banning Junction, joking about how silly it was that they almost believed the ghost of someone was going to come back for revenge against a whole town.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo?
Did that cat just disappear? There's another example of there being actual paranormal stuff in this show. And that's the end of the episode. What an incredibly fun episode. I mean, most Scooby-Doo episodes are fun, but this one is just more fun. I mean, there's all kinds of fun little Easter eggs and references hidden everywhere in this episode. They even brought back the horrible sounding laugh track just for this one episode. But like I said earlier, this isn't the best, nor is it even remotely the spookiest Scooby-Doo Halloween episode. Honestly, the best to me is Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. God, I just adore that little movie. It's so cute. And the scariest is probably Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King. That guy's scary as hell. This episode isn't even as scary as the other Scarecrow-based Halloween episode, but it might just be the nostalgia from watching this as a kid. But this episode gets me hyped for the spooky season every time I see it. I do wish they focused more on the Halloween aspect of the episode though. Sure, they talk about Halloween and there are people in costumes for at least 5 minutes of the episode, but the mystery in this episode just feels like any other mystery they'd solve. If you took out the Halloween aspect in this episode, it's just an episode about robot scarecrows being controlled by a really smart, pretty girl. You get what I mean, right? It doesn't feel any different from a normal Scooby-Doo episode. Doesn't feel like a special. And I know it's hard trying to find a villain that matches the vibe for the holiday when your show is full of ghosts, ghouls, and monsters, but I think a more creative monster like a pile of sentient candy or a giant caramel apple would have been more fitting and a lot of fun. Not saying that I hate the robo scarecrows. I actually think they're really cool and they can be pretty spooky at times. I mean, if I had a pumpkin-headed scarecrow with a buzzsaw for a hand chasing me, I'd be a little scared. I'd admit, I'd kind of run and scream. And they're actually one of the more unique monsters in the show because they're robots, you know, but they could have been a little more creative, could have had a little more fun with the monster. I also feel like they made the secret reveal a little too obvious in this episode. I tried to keep it ambiguous for the video, but I mean, they really made us not like Marcy right from the get-go. They also hinted towards it being other people, but they never really like hard pushed on another person. It was just Daphne saying it's Marcy, and that's the only time they accused anyone. And she did also have kind of a weak reason for causing all this havoc. I mean, at least the mayor or the rich guy could have made a lot of money by ruining Halloween. I mean, they could have scared the crap out of a lot of people and then made them sell their cornfields and made billions of dollars. But nope, she's like, this holiday really sucks. I mean, I understand it probably does kind of suck with your birthday being overshadowed by a holiday, but I feel like Halloween would be the best holiday to have your birthday on. You get to have costume parties every year and people are going to show up because people love costume parties, and you get a ton of candy because it's Halloween, and you get a bunch of presents because it's Halloween and it's your birthday. It just sounds awesome as hell. But even with all its flaws, I think this episode is so much fun and I always have a great time watching it. Like I said earlier, they brought back all the goofy sound effects and the laugh track from the 70s show, and that really made this episode stand out in the What's New Scooby-Doo series. It's also just straight action from the start to finish. They don't even give you a theme song in this episode. I think it's great, and you should definitely add it to your Halloween TV episode playlist if you haven't. I know it's part of my list now. I kind of forgot how awesome it was. But let me know what you think about this episode in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think about all the other Scooby-Doo Halloween movies and TV episodes. Let me know how you would rank them. And don't forget, I have a plushie out until November 6th. Go get yourself one right now. He's cute. Look at him. And if you don't like this book, it's okay. You don't have to have the book. Give it to your cats. There you go. There you go. Give it to your cats. He doesn't have to have a book. It'll just be me. Kind of weird looking at him in the eyes. Those aren't my eyes. Hey, you. Me? Are you lonely? No, I have a girlfriend, so... Do you cuddle with your pillow and sob at night? What? Where it sounds like you need the King Noose Me plushie, a perfect companion that kinda looks like that guy on YouTube you saw once. The King Noose Me plushie can do so much, like be cute, sit on a shelf, judge you silently. He's a great cuddle buddy at night, just make sure you sleep with one eye open. Why? Don't you worry about it. Visit GiveMeSwag.com or click the link in the description to order one now to November 6th. I'm gonna order one right now!
Warning, King Noose Me plushie is unstable and could wake up at any moment. If this happens, find cover and don't answer any of his questions. It will be the last thing you do.
I don't know if I want one anymore. I have a Patreon. The $5 members get bonus content plus videos a day early, maybe some pictures of my cats, a Discord server, and your name right here on screen. Like the video if you like the video. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. I appreciate you all, and peace.